So, day 2 of being able to get out of bed by myself and get onto the toilet and get dressed and just have a normal morning for once. It's now just after lunchtime. I'm not even sure what the time is. I think it's probably about 1 o'clock-ish. My mum's on her way over to massage my feet and my legs and do my toes and sort them out. But I've just had a phone call from her, and unfortunately she has broken down, probably about 5-10 minutes drive away. So she's sat waiting for the AA to come. The video is not sponsored by the AA, just for reference. So my mum's all abandoned in the middle of Clayton waiting for the AA, and I'm sat here waiting with what appears to be a foot that is just deciding to bleed. I've just had a delivery from the supermarket, which shall not be named as I am not being sponsored, and I caught my foot underneath the kitchen cupboard, and as I pulled away from the kitchen cupboard, I have torn the skin off the top of my foot. It's not as bad as I've just made it sound, but I'll post a picture so you can see. Ta-da! There you go. And yeah, so I'm gonna sit looking at my foot heel this afternoon whilst waiting for my mum to arrive to do my feet, bless her. She tends to come once a week and do them, and the difference between before and after her doing my feet is just absolutely ridiculously extreme. Before doing it, you've seen them, they look dead. You'll have seen on the picture, and afterwards they look like standard normal human feet. So yeah, I'll look forward to her coming and sorting that out. I have just had a strawberry cornetto. Well, no, it were cornetto. I was going to say supermarket rip-off, but they were on offer, so it was an actual cornetto. Again, not sponsored. And I absolutely devoured it. It's got a little bit hot in my house today, and the heat really affects me with my MS. When I was getting out of bed this morning, I decided to do a bit of a curtsy move. When I got out of bed, I get my right foot out first, and then I spin around slightly and get my left leg out. But instead of my left leg just going to the side of me, it decided to... Oh gosh, sorry. This is what happens when you've got MS. You concentrate on other things and don't realise that things have gone wrong. When I got my foot out, it basically went in front of my right foot rather than at the side or behind, to make it easy. It decided that it was going to make things as hard as it possibly could. So thankfully, I always have my walking frame close by. So I was able to grab hold of that and kind of manoeuvre, let's say, my left foot from behind my right foot. And then I was able to get the walking frame away from me so I could get into the bathroom. Life is not as easy as it seems. I keep telling you all this, but it really isn't. It took me, a good 10-15 minutes to get out of bed this morning. And I know, when I was an able-bodied person, it used to take me about 20 seconds, let's say, waft the covers off, swing my legs round, stand up, no effort. But I can't do that anymore. I can't physically get out of bed. I think I explained the other day, but I'll explain it again. I have to do a push-up onto my knees and then kind of push my bum back as far as I can so that I'm more or less sat back on my ankles. But occasionally that doesn't happen, but thankfully the last 2 days it has done. And I then have to crawl up the bed, hold on to the headboard, swing 90 degrees, get my right foot out, then swing back to where I was, the 90 degrees, reach out for the handle of my ensuite. Thankfully they're like door knobs rather than handles, and so it's easy to grab hold of. And then when I've swung back the 90 degrees, I then get my left leg out of bed and hold on to the headboard and the door handle. I then manoeuvre by opening the door and then grabbing the other side of the door handle, then moving from the headboard to the door frame, and then walking, hopefully, on the flat of my foot. But occasionally I do what we call the wedding walk. I think I've explained that again as well, where I walk on the outside edge of my foot rather than the flat. And I call it the wedding walk because I literally walked up the aisle doing that, which was painful as hell, and it was the first time that had ever happened, so it is therefore named the wedding walk. I then managed to get the frame out of the way after having to grab it, and then I twist around and basically move one leg at a time as close to the bathroom as I can. After grabbing the outside edge of the door frame, I then swap to the inside edge of the door frame, and on my window ledge, which is just to the right hand side of me, I have like a grab handle that the council installed for me to make it easier. I then go from the door handle to the grab handle, and then from the door frame to, I've got an ensuite with like a built-in toilet unit and then a bowl, if that makes sense. And I then put my hand from the door frame onto the worktop area behind the toilet, where the system would normally be. And then I swing my legs again as best I can to get in front of the toilet. I then turn around 90 degrees towards the window, pull my knickknacks down, and then I sit down and then I get dressed. And it's really not easy, but it is as things can be. So I always try my best to do it. I get myself dressed, do my teeth, do my hair usually, but I don't think I did it this morning. I do sometimes forget. And then I put my splints on, which are basically, my dad used to call them his calipers, but I've since learnt that they are splints, the ones that I wear anyway. But my dad had one that he wore on his right leg / foot, and it's basically for foot drop. It's like plastic that goes up the back of my calf and then underneath my foot. But I've got a little bit of a heel on mine as well, because I'm a lady. No, it's because I've not got very much, I've got too much tension up the backs of my calf muscles, of which I've got some splints that I also wear that have to stretch the muscles as well. Once I've got my splints on, I then push myself up with my left hand on the back of the toilet worktop on top of what would be the cistern, and grab hold of the handle and the window ledge, push myself up into a standing position, and then where the door frame is, which is really close to the toilet, I kind of put my head in the corner of where the door frame is and what goes on to be the window. I feel like I'm talking and not making much sense, so if I'm not making sense, please do ask questions. Ask as many questions as you can, because I am total open book and I will try and answer them the best I can and try and explain things a little bit better. But the cognitive function in my head is not at its best because of the MS. So yeah, I stand in the corner of the wall and the door as such, with my forehead, and then I pull my knickknacks and my jeans up, and then I turn to my right a little bit and I grab hold of my walking frame, walk a little bit with it. Well, I say walk, I mean like swing my legs. The effort is just intense. And then after I've got about 2 steps past the door, I have to kind of reach out behind me and swing the door shut. And that's purely so that Oscar doesn't go in my bathroom. Oscar's the big black can't talk. Oscar's our black Labrador that we've got, the big soft lump. But he will take anything and everything he can get his teeth round. He likes toothpaste bottles, he likes shampoo bottles, shower gels, toilet rolls are his absolute favourite. He can get them off of the toilet roll holder. And when I was working, there was a point where I had 8 toilet rolls on my desk from collection over a few days, but I had them nonetheless. So yeah, I then walk around my bed, and I've already brought my stair lift out to where my bed is. Where my bedroom door is, and then I just swing myself round onto my stair lift, lean forward, get my splints off, and then I get my phone out of my walker pocket, and then I'll push myself back onto my stair lift chair, and then I come downstairs. When I get to the bottom of the stairs in about half an hour, because it's that slow, I then have to push myself up out of my stair lift chair and sort of grab my wheelchair side, and then kind of turn myself around and plonk into my wheelchair. I then wheel over to my rise and recline chair, and at the moment I'm trying not to sit in it very much, because I do lose a lot of strength in my legs as the day goes on. And if I fall on the floor, that's it. I'm on the floor until I pull myself into my rise recline. And oh gosh, that is a complete other story that I just don't have the blooming brain power to tell you about right now. I will tell you in the future. So I just sit with my feet up on the seat of my rise and recline chair. And then my circulation will not be as bad as what it could get, and also it relieves pain as well. And I often sit here with the I don't even know what they call it, but it's like a sheet that goes under my legs and it vibrates. It's what my dad what my stepmom gave me after my dad had passed away, that my dad used to use for his circulation. So yeah, so here I am sat waiting for my mum, who has during this video rung me 2 times. So I am going to have to go and see what she's after, but I'm presuming she's just going to tell me that the AA are going to be about an hour before they get there, and she's going to go home rather than come and see me. So I'll just see her over the weekend. But yeah, getting out of bed. Yep, getting out of bed as an MSer is not as easy as it is for you able-bodied lucky buggers. It is an absolute trauma, and often doesn't go to plan, which is what happened when I posted my first video with my knee dressing full of black Labrador hair, which I'm convinced Oscar is trying to make like little clones of himself. We find like big lumps of black fur in the hallway as well, underneath the radiator of all places, and he doesn't even go there. It's all on the laminate, so it's really easily picked up, or we wait for his cleaner to do it. Sorry, Sarah. So yeah, today has been another good day so far. And last night, I forgot to mention, I got to the top of the stairs on my stair lift, and I was able to walk all the way around my bed and get undressed for bed on the toilet, as I always do. So yeah, so far so good this week. Well, the latter part of the week, should I say. and let's hope that it continues over the weekend. I hope that you've all become overjoyed that it is Friday. Let me know if you've got any plans for the weekend. I think my husband Dave's working tomorrow night, and then I'll be doing my Avon round on Sunday, just going round collecting books mainly, and that's my plans for this weekend. Woohoo! But no, let me know what you're up to, and we will hopefully liaise with questions and answers soon. You all take care. I'll catch up soon. Bye for now.